welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're tackling a really critical intersection in modern tech. Look, we all know AI is absolutely incredible at drafting, brainstorming, and generating information, right? But when it comes to taking actual real-world action, well, we need some strict guardrails before we just let it take the wheel. So let's unpack exactly how that works. To really put this into perspective, ask yourself this. Be honest. Would you truly let an AI automatically route your company's most sensitive compliance reports? Or hey, would you allow it to just autonomously approve a $10,000 wire transfer without any kind of safety net? I'm guessing for most enterprises, the answer is a massive no way. And honestly, that is exactly where human oversight comes into play. Okay, let's dive right into this. We've got a great roadmap today. We're going to define what this concept actually is, look at why AI desperately needs our feedback, bust a huge myth about bottlenecks, check out some real-world applications, talk about how to design these workflows, and then peek at the future of human and AI symbiosis. All right, first things first, let's make sure we're totally clear on what we mean when we talk about putting a human in the loop. Human in the loop, or HITL for short, is basically a dynamic partnership. Think of it like this. The AI is this high-powered engine doing all the heavy computational lifting. It's moving fast. But the human, we are the critical steering wheel. We're the ones applying that nuanced real-world judgment. And, most importantly, we maintain the ultimate authority over the final decision. Now, check out the sharp distinction here. On the left side, we have human in the loop. This means an active review actually happens before any action is executed. But over on the right, you've got human on the loop, or HOTL. In that setup, the AI operates autonomously, and the human is just monitoring it. It's kind of like a driving instructor just sitting there ready to grab the wheel if things go south. So it's literally the difference between driving the car yourself versus nervously watching a robot drive it on autopilot. So moving on, why does an incredibly powerful AI even need us anyway? Get this. By 2025, a staggering 70% of enterprises are going to adopt reinforcement learning from human feedback, which is often called RLHF. Let that sink in. This isn't just some experimental niche technique anymore. It's literally becoming the default standard for aligning these massive AI models with actual human values. And this quote brilliantly illustrates why. Instead of trying to hack together some insanely complicated, imperfect mathematical formula just to tell the AI what good looks like, we use direct human feedback. We rank the outputs, and the AI learns from those actual preferences. It basically aligns the AI's behavior with our complex values, and it completely prevents those dangerous loopholes where an AI might, try to cheat the system just to get a high score. Okay, but let's address the elephant in the room. We need to tackle the biggest myth in the industry right now. You hear this all the time in the enterprise space, right? People say, oh, putting a human in the loop is simply too slow for scale. It's just going to bottleneck the whole AI automation process. And hey, it's a totally valid fear. But as you'll see, it's mostly based on a huge misunderstanding of how these systems are actually built today. Because modern HITL isn't about having a human sit there reviewing every single mundane task. The operational reality is something called supervised autonomy. The systems use confidence-based routing, so the AI just handles the easy, obvious stuff automatically. Humans only step in for the tricky exception reviews. Plus, we use tricks like approve with edits or botching up all the low-risk items together. So the crucial point is this actually enables high-speed operations. It definitely doesn't slow them down. To actually make that work, though, you need a mathematical framework to structure the AI's boundaries. This right here is essentially a double threshold policy. It's a mathematical approach that perfectly balances the system's accuracy against the operational cost and the time of a human reviewer. Let's break down the logic of that double threshold policy, because it's pretty neat. Step 1, the AI auto-accepts instances where it has extremely high confidence. Boom. Done. Step 2, it auto-rejects instances with extremely low confidence. Also done. Step 3 is the magic part. It routes only the ambiguous cases, those tricky edge cases falling right in the middle, over to a human reviewer. This proves how the AI handles the vast bulk of the workload, while humans apply their expertise literally only where it's truly needed. All right, let's step out of the theory for a second and look at how this actually plays out in the real world. Let's rapid fire through some of these industries to see the real value. Take healthcare. An AI predicts pneumonia from an X-ray, sure, but a human doctor reviews the explainability score before making the actual diagnosis. In the legal world, AI might draft demand letters and pull up precedents, but a lawyer evaluates it and makes the final privilege calls. And in enterprise IT, if an AI suggests disabling multi-factor authentication, an IT ops person reviews the evidence first to prevent a catastrophic blast radius. The AI brings the speed, but the humans bring the safety. So, how do we actually build this stuff? Let's crack open the playbook for designing reliable workflows. Here are your absolute engineering must-haves. First up, you've got to generate what are called evidence packs. These give reviewers just enough context to make a solid decision in like 10 to 30 seconds. It's a lifesaver for fighting off decision fatigue. Second, enforce execution idempotency. Big word, I know, but it just means preventing the AI from accidentally duplicating an action if a process gets retried. Third, build stateless resumes. This lets humans approve a paused process asynchronously, maybe even days later, without breaking the whole system. And finally, always actively manage the cognitive load of your reviewers. Let's see how this all builds into what's known as the 3-layer HCXAI framework. Step 1 is your foundational AI model, which honestly must be inherently interpretable from the start. Step 2 is the human-centered explanation layer. This essentially translates the AI's logic so it's tailored to the specific expertise of the human reviewing it. And step 3 is the persuasive feedback loop, where the system actually learns in real time from the human's corrections. It's just a beautiful way to bridge highly technical explainability with true practical human interpretability. Which brings us to the big picture. Let's look at the future of AI symbiosis. Organizations generally evolve through 3 transitional phases with this tech. Phase 1 is human in the loop, where you're strictly validating critical operations just to build up trust. Once you hit a certain maturity level, you graduate to phase 2, human on the loop. That's where the AI runs on its own, but humans actively monitor the exceptions. Eventually, for highly predictable tasks, you might even reach phase 3, human out of the loop, which is total autonomy, but strictly within predefined boundaries. The takeaway here is that HITL is the absolutely necessary stepping stone to safely graduate to those higher levels of autonomy. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to chew on today. As AI grows more capable and far more autonomous, the ultimate goal isn't actually about removing humans from the equation altogether. Not at all. Instead, the loop simply moves higher up the chain. We finally stop micromanaging routine tasks, and we're freed up to focus entirely on high-level strategy, ethics, and defining what success even looks like. The truth is, the human is never truly out of the loop. Our loop just gets much, much bigger. Thanks for watching, and keep asking the big questions.